morning. My name is I'm the head of the operation for a startup company from Israel called Sesame Enable. And Sesame Enable was founded 4.5 years ago. And it was founded after a chance encounter between two individuals. And one of them, his name is Giora, and he used to be an electrical engineer, and he suffered a neck injury at the age of 5 that left him paralyzed from the neck down. And after his injury, 2 years after his injury, he was obviously depressed and sitting at home. He was just watching TV, watching the late night show TV in Israel, and he saw this guy presenting a game on TV, a game that used gesture technology. You move your head and stuff happened with the game. And he had an idea that this kind of gesture technology can be used for him, can be used to control a smart device, to access smart devices like smartphone or tablet. So he just made the phone call. He found the number of the guys on TV, he made the phone call, and he just said, "My name is Giora, I cannot move my hands or legs. Can you help me make a smart line, please?" And they met a couple of days later, and with that, the guys on TV closed the company for developing games, and they co-founded Sesame Enable together. That was back at 2013, and it was a long road ahead of them. They started, if you heard about us from back then at 2014, 2015, people used to call us the Sesame phone, because what we did is we just took smartphones, we hacked them with the permission of Google, we put the software on them, but they were pre-installed phones. And we won the FCC Chairman Award, and we won the Verizon Powerful Answer Award, and this money kind of like helped us get going. We did some crowdfunding, and in 2016, with the help of Google, we managed to turn our technology into a mobile app. It was a huge step for us, because from that point on, you don't need anything from us. All you need to do is go to the Google Play Store, you download the app, and you can fully control your device with head movements. The idea behind our technology is pretty intuitive. We're using the selfie camera, the front-facing camera of the device, to track the movements of the user's head. So unlike the eye gaze technology, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, our technology is not looking at face features and not at eyeballs movement. It looks at your head. You can imagine kind of like this circle around your head, and it's focused on the center of your head, the nose area. And from that on, you're going to have a cursor on the screen that is following the movements of your head. And we're using dual click mechanism to tap and to swipe. I'm going to show you in a second exactly how I'm doing it. But the bottom line is that you'll be able to do anything on your device, whether it's to use an AAC app, or to read a book, or to watch videos on YouTube, or to just read emails, anything that you imagine that someone would do with your smartphone or your tablet, you will be able to do it. I like to say that we give the people the keys to the house. From there, what you do on your device is completely up to you, but you can do anything. We have kids playing, Angry Birds or Candy Crush, and we have adults writing emails and going back to work. So it really gives you everything you need. Because our technology is an app, and we keep sending new updates to our users all the time. So I can give you a lot of examples of features that we just added in the last few weeks. If you've seen our technology 3 months ago, and if you see it today, you're going to see changes. Last year, we added the option to do selfie. It wasn't available in the beginning, but since we're using the front-facing camera, this option wasn't available, but we added this option, and now our users can take selfie. We added the option to zoom in or zoom out. We added the option to do double tap. We are adding new voice commands. So if you're verbal, you can use voice commands. All the OK Google commands will work. And we are adding new voice commands. So for example, we added 3 voice commands to help people make and receive phone calls. And if someone is calling you, you just need to say Sesame Answer, and you're gonna open your microphone. It's gonna lock the person. You can start the conversation. You can say Sesame Dismiss if you don't want to answer, and you can say Sesame End Call. Those features do not exist in any other technology, and you can easily control your incoming and outgoing calls through those simple voice commands. And we're keeping new features all the time. Right now, we're working on allowing people to do video calls like Skype. We're working on allowing people to do click and drag. So the technology is all the time, and if we feedback from our users and from professionals, it can easily be implemented to the next version.
So I have a question. As you're talking about phone calls, they can answer, dismiss, or end, but can they initiate a call with?
Yeah. So initiating the call, that's the easy part, because that's available for all people. You You can say, okay, Google, call mom, and so that's not even our
okay, so
technology.
you're just using your technology.
Yeah.
with yours, okay.
But if you're nonverbal, you can go with the cursor to your phone, find the right person, scroll, and call them. So we are opening this door to people that are nonverbal or it's harder for them to talk, so or sending SMS or stuff like that. So I'm going to show you how I'm using it. So you can look either here or you can look here. And in order to start our technology, there are two ways to do it. One way is with a simple voice command, and another way is with switch access. Switch access is very easy to use because our technology, our app is always in the background, so it's very easy to get there. But if you're verbal, you can just use a voice command. And voice command is the only feature that you actually need to be connected to the internet. The rest of the technology, I'm using it on flights. You don't need any data at all. You can just use the cursor and do whatever you want. But for the voice commands, you do need to be connected to the internet. Okay, Google. All right. Open Sesame. So we start with face calibration. You see that it takes barely 2 seconds. And now I have a cursor on the screen that is following the movements of my head. You see that it's pretty sensitive right now. I can make it a little bit less sensitive, a little bit more sensitive. It really depends on you. Once I'm stopping somewhere, you saw the little well-click mechanism. It's the green circle around it. I'm going to show you again. Once I'm stopping somewhere, you see the green circle charging around. Right now, it's about 1.5, 1.6 seconds, and it opens this action menu. In the action menu, I have the little blue dot in the middle, and I can, with the blue dot, choose the action I want to perform. So the purple icon, that's swipe. The green icon, this is tap or click. Those are the two most important actions. This is where you usually will go. The orange is pinch, it's zoom in or zoom out. The blue is more actions, and the red is just to cancel. So if I'm clicking red, I'm getting my cursor back. So if I want to swipe, then go to the purple icon, and now I have this line that I can stretch. And I swipe around again, just stopping somewhere. Swipe, stretch the line to the other side, I let it charge, and it swipes. Now, if I want to use any app on my device, I just need to hover over the icon, tap. Now I open my Gmail account. I can scroll through the results, through the emails. That's when I'm scrolling down just by stretching the line up. Let's say I want to open this email. Tapping on it. If I want to write an email, just need to put the cursor on the right action. Now you see that the keyboard jumps automatically. I can use, in order to write the name that I want, the address, I cannot use voice commands, but I can use the cursor to write the address. We have a shortcut for that in the more actions, the blue icon. Here I have the option to always swipe or to always tap. If I want to always tap, every time I'm putting the cursor on something, it's automatically tapping and it's not taking me through the action menu. Once I'll go to the actually compose the email, you see that now I have the microphone here. Now I can just start talking and it will write everything I'm saying. And I can use the cursor to correct it. So if there is a mistake, if I want to add, you know, a comma or a dot or an exclamation mark, I can use the cursor to do it. But I can also just use the cursor to write a message. So both options are available. If I want to go back to the action menu, I'm just taking my head down. You see the little home here. This is the home button, just like you have on every device. We also have the split screen option and the back option. So every physical button you have on your device, you'll have an on-screen representation of it. If I'm going to swipe from the top down, oh, you see that I'm still on always tap. So every time I'm stopping somewhere, I don't see the action menu because it's just tapping. I'm going to take my head to the left. You see the little icon charging, and now I'm getting my action menu back again. Now let's say I want to go and watch a video on YouTube. Just putting the cursor on the right icon, pressing tap with the green icon. Now it's going to open YouTube. I'm going to wait here. You see that you can also wait here and it's not going to do anything. But now let's say that I want to watch this video. And I don't want to see the cursor running around while I'm watching the video. So I'm going to take my head to the right. You see the lock icon? Now the cursor is locked, so I can watch the video, and I don't see the cursor running around the screen, but if you look at the bar down here, it's still following my head. So if I want to unlock the cursor, and we have two ways to unlock it, I can use a voice command to lock and unlock. I can just use the gesture of my head, take my head to the right or to the left, and I'm getting my cursor back on, taking it down, going to the home menu. And from here, you can basically do anything you want. You can play games. You can go, if I want to go and Google something, you can just put the cursor on the Google line, press tab. Again, I have my keyboard. I have my microphone, so I can do both. If I want to pick MDA. Now I can also, the internet is a bit slow, but I can scroll through the results. If for some reason I'm moving around, I'm looking to talk with someone, someone is blocking my camera, it's going to tell you where you've last seen, and it tells you take your head back here. This is where I've last seen. So if I'm going to exactly the same place, I'm getting the control right away. If the camera was blocked, or now you see I'm changing position, I'm shifting my chair, I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to sit here. You see that now I'm a little bit to the right. It's going to take a couple of seconds. It's going to do the calibration again. And I'm going to get control from my new position. Now I have control from my new position. So even if you're changing, even if you're moving, even if it's losing the track of your face, all you need to do is sit back in front of the device. And as you can see, the movements that I'm doing are subtle. We don't want people to do sharp movements. We don't want people to get tired. It needs to be effortless.
So once you've set, it's calibrated for your head, and you move around like this, how long will it hold that memory where you need to be? If you moved away and you were talking for 10 or 15 minutes, would you have to recalibrate?
No, after it did one calibration, now it remembers where you were. If you're moving away, it tells you to go back to where it did the last calibration, and it's going to do, every time it's doing the calibration, then it's remembering the last place you've been to.
Okay.
And it's not looking at my face, so if any of you is going to sit here instead of me, it's going to work exactly the same. So it's not about face features, it's completely neutral to which face. And it also, if it sees faces in the background, people in the background, it's not going to bother it. It knows to focus on the closest face that is in the center of the screen. Okay. Now, about the pricing of the app and a little bit about the settings. First of all, I want to emphasize that there is a lot of settings to the app, and this is why we encourage professionals to contact us and ask us questions. If you want to work with a specific person that has specific physical disabilities or specific cognitive disabilities, there are features in our app that can help you with that. I'm not going to go into all the features right now, but I encourage you, I gave you my card, I encourage you to ask us questions and we can help you. Just for example, if you're working with someone that has cognitive disabilities and you want to start without seeing the action menu, you just want the option to tap, you can tweak the settings and only have the option to tap. And then you can use, for example, an AAC app, and it's going to be easier for the person to get used to moving the cursor with his head. And then after the individual is getting used to this idea, you can add the actual menu. And we have different ways of control. So what I've just seen you and what most of our users are using is absolute control, meaning I'm moving my head around and the cursor is doing exactly what my head is doing. But there's also other means of control for people with more limited head movement. There is more, and I can show you in the settings, but if I'm going to, this is the pointer settings. So the first two lines, which are the most important one, is the horizontal and vertical sensitivity. We divided it into two different spectrums. So this is kind of like our default sensitivity, but you can increase the sensitivity significantly. You can reduce the sensitivity. People with high spinal cord injury that might have limited head movement, you can increase the sensitivity. If someone is bedridden and his horizontal sensitivity is more limited, you can increase that line and not the other. So you can do it manually, just increasing the sensitivity. And I would be careful here with someone doing this with his head movements, because if by mistake someone will take the line all the way here, it's going to be really difficult to undo because now it's going to be extremely, extremely sensitive. So I can do it manually, or I can just do calibrate sensitivity. In calibrate sensitivity, I'm just going to show the camera the range of my movement, and the software is going to adjust the sensitivity according to the range of my movement. So let's see that this is what I can do horizontally. And we tell people don't exaggerate your movement because this is the movement that you'll need to do in order to reach the edges of the screen. This is what I can do vertically. So you see that now the vertical sensitivity is about twice than the horizontal sensitivity, just adjusting it according to the movement that I showed it. And you see below the line, you see absolute, adaptive, and moderate. Those are the three types of code. I would always try to work on absolute. Get the person closer to the screen, play with the sensitivity. This is the easiest, most intuitive means of control. But if we see that in the calibrate sensitivity, the lines went all the way up and now it's extremely sensitive, it might be hard to control it when it's so sensitive. So it's going to jump automatically to adaptive. Adaptive is more like joystick control. You just need to gesture toward a certain direction and connection stopped.
Where's the connection?
I'll try to do it again, but give it a second. With the adaptive control, you just need to gesture toward the direction. So if I'm gesturing towards the left, the cursor will start moving to the left until I'm putting my head back on. So if you have someone with very limited head movement, it's trying to reach the edge of the screen and you can't get there, and you play with the sensitivity, then all you need to do is just gesture, and that's an easier way to do it. The moderate is more for people with CP. The line on the vertical lines, you're going to get a biofeedback to tell you not to move your head too much. And you can also see your head in the background, and it gives you more kind of like feeling of where your head is and what you're doing, and feedback, and only straight lines. So that's another option of control. The other lines that you see here, the other options is just about timing and colors and size. So the click time, the dwelling click mechanism is 1.6 seconds that you need to stop in one place. It can be as fast as 0.3 seconds. Usually it's nice to start in 2 or 3 seconds because the action minute doesn't just jump and it goes a little bit slower. We have the pointer size, the color of the pointer, everything you want here. In the general, we have a few cool features. One of them that we just added last week, set custom voice commands. So instead of saying open sesame or reposition, we have a list of voice commands that you can use. You can decide that instead of saying open sesame, you just say David or mom. You can replace a word that it's easier for you to say instead of the voice command that we programmed in. So that's a new feature. Another option that we have here is you can decide to automatically answer incoming calls. And when I'm checking this box, you can choose automatically answer calls from all your contacts, all the numbers, just your contacts, always, or just when you have the Bluetooth or a headset. You can decide to automatically turn on speaker when starting or receiving a call. You can decide to lock mouse pointer when starting or receiving a call. We have different settings here. And when you download the app from the Google Play Store, you're going to get 30 days for free. And with those 30 days for free, you have here training option, and it will suggest to start with the training. And the training is very interactive and fun. It only takes about 10 minutes, and it will walk you through all the features of the app, where to position your head, how to tap, how to swipe. And so you're getting the 30 days, you're getting the training, and after those 30 days, and if you like the app and if it's working for you, then the app is only $20 a month. You can pay monthly and you can stop at any time. You can buy the app yearly or bi-yearly. And we also have the option specifically for organization to buy an unlimited license for $6.99. We also offer organization or just the individual users to buy a bundle from us. And the bundle will include a smartphone or a tablet, the mount that you see here, which can connect to a table or to any other flat surface or to a wheelchair, and the license. So you're getting license, tablet / smartphone, and a mount, and you're just getting a box to your home. So if someone wants to buy everything from us, that's also available. If you have the device, you can just buy the device on your own and just get the license from us. Yeah.
Does the unlimited license allow you to get updates?
Yeah.
So as the app gets updated, you get the new update.
Yeah, yeah. So the unlimited license gets you all the future updates of this software. The one thing I need to say is that you're going to get all the updates for this software. If in the future there's going to be Android 11 and it's going to have certain capabilities and we're going to come up with a new different software, then you're not going to get the new updates of the new software, but this software will always work on your device. And you can also switch devices. So we say one license per one device at a time. But you can, if you got a new device, you can relinquish this device and you can take the license to a new device. You cannot use the license on two devices simultaneously, but you can leave one device and move it to a new device.
I think you could connect again if you have more to show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically done with this option. If you want to try, I can take you through the training program so you get a feel of it if any of you want to try. I saw that you also have the mounts here. So a couple of words about the mounts. So the mounts come with a few pieces.
And it's only available for Android, right?
Yeah, it's available for Android, any Android device, smartphone or tablet, any company. We started in 2016, so it needs to be an Android 7 or newer operating systems. And we are now working on making a version for the Chromecast. It's almost ready. It's going to take a couple more months, but that's going to be a big thing, especially for education systems around the country. Special education around the country is buying a lot of those Chromecast. If you haven't seen it, it's just a regular laptop. It's basically a tablet with a keyboard that looks like a laptop, but it works on Android, so our technology can work on that. I hope that by the end of the year, we're going to have an application for Windows, meaning that you'll be able to use this application on Windows laptop or on Surface Pro.
What about, I saw you have Cough Drop. You can use
Yes.
that Cough Drop.
Yes, you can use any app that is available on Google Play Store. So Cough Drop for AAC or Predictable for the ALS community or anything else. Anything that is available on the Google Play. I haven't heard of an app that didn't work with it. I say that it works on 99.9% of what your device can do. The 0.01% is stuff that we're working on, for example, to do a Skype conversation, because you're using the front-facing camera, but we are finding a solution for that, and it's going to be available very, very soon.
Does it work in landscape and?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are no limitations, landscape, and even if sometimes you open an app that only works on landscape and you are on the other option, so it's just going to tell you to turn your device, and you can turn your device, or you can just go out of the app and say Open Sesame or Sesame Reposition, and you get the calibration again.
Great.
And so this app is called Open Sesame. This is our flagship product, and it's available on the Google Play Store. The second product that we're working on and is now available as a pre-installed phone, and it's going to be available soon also as an app, is the Sesame Connect. The Sesame Connect, and you can see it in the little icon picture I gave you, it's instead of controlling it with your head, you're controlling it with a Bluetooth device. The main idea was to allow people to control it with the joystick of their wheelchair. So imagine that the device is sitting here and you see the cursor on the screen and a similar interface.
Okay, thank you.
But instead of using your head to control the cursor on the screen, you're controlling the joystick of your wheelchair. If you have Bluetooth transmission in your wheelchair, and most new wheelchairs do have this option. If you don't have it, you can still use just a regular, computer mouse or any other Bluetooth device, and it gives people a lot of freedom. It's a great solution for people that do not have good head control. Maybe they have a lot of uncontrolled movement, which is making them hard to use the Open Sesame. They will be able to control the device with other means. It can be a head array, it can be a hand joystick, it can be a foot joystick, it can be any other Bluetooth device. Currently, this technology is available as a pre-installed phone. You buy from us the phone with the license. We give you 30 days to try it out. If you don't like it, you can send it back and get a refund. And we're working on turning it into an app, so it will work in the same way as the Open Sesame. You just go to the Google Play Store, download the app, connect a Bluetooth device, and you can control the cursor on the screen. So that's about the Sesame Connect. Any other questions?
Do you have to be directly in front of the phone?
You don't have to be directly in front of the phone. Ideally, it will be at the same level of your head. It can be a little bit to the side, a little bit below you. And that can work. It will be less comfortable because your head will need to be up and down. So the most comfortable way is to have it straight in front of your head. But even if it's a little bit on the side or below you, it will still work.
Is it finding different points of your face, or are you narrowing in on the nose? Or
I can show you when I do the calibration. You see this orange dot, which is kind of like the center of where the camera is.
do you want to try to
focusing.
connect to this again? I
Yeah.
think you should be able to.
I can try. Yeah.
So I was just curious, as you're connecting with Brian, he uses a sip and puff. I'm wondering if the tube in front of him is going to get in the way of recognizing his head position.
We can try. I don't think it's necessarily going to interrupt, but we just need to try and maybe play with the angles a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see when I start the calibration, you'll see a little orange dot on my nose. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like where the camera is looking at the center. And since I really moved the sensitivity, you see that I'm barely moving my head, but the cursor is moving around. It's hard to control, but if someone has extremely limited movement, you can see how I'm barely moving my head and the cursor is running around.
What if you were to calibrate it, but somebody had their head tilted to the side, just based on any type?
I would tilt the device as well. I did it in the
You
past.
bring the device around to them. Because some people are in the wheelchair, but their head's facing sideways a little bit and
Yeah.
looking.
You have them mounted, is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? You have
I'm
So
wondering
If
if
my head is tilted to the left, for example, I would
Uh-huh.
do this. It sounds very low tech, but it works.
We like low
works.
tech.
Yeah.
We do like those.
so you just tilt the so it kind of needs to be the same level as their head.
Yeah, yeah. So if their head is a little bit tilted, try to tilt also the device. If you see that sometimes it happens that you sit in front of the device and you're waiting for it to start the calibration and it's not doing it. So sometimes it's enough that you'll do this or this, just change the angle a little bit and it will start the calibration. Maybe get a little bit closer to the device and it will start the calibration. Make sure that there is no direct light on the camera, but it will work indoor and it will work outdoor. And it will work even if the room is not 100% lit, but sometimes you just need to change the angle a little bit and it will work for you. And we even have the option to do it manually. You kind of like put a square around the area you want the camera to look, and it's going to focus on like this specific area. But again, those are more advanced settings that I don't want to get into them. But we have a dedicated class, and we can go online and help you set it up for specific emails and questions on the emails. If you go to our website, we have the support section of our website. There's a lot of Q&A there, and there's videos that we show you how we do this and how we do that. So it's very, very helpful. And you know, if something is not working, if you have an idea and you said, I wish I could do this or I wish I could do that. Someone told me yesterday, I went to the University of Utah Hospital, and they told me, we really wish that you'll have the option to just say help and it will do something. Like, this is something we can find a solution to. It's just a matter of finding something that will be relevant for everyone. So we're always welcoming feedback and tell us about your experience. And again, since we're a small company, making adjustment to the software is very, very easy and fast. There is not a lot of people that need to approve changes. You know, we're a small company. Any
I
other
think this is
questions?
very cool.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by it. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yeah,
Do you see yourself getting approved in the Apple Store with the?
with iOS?
Yeah.
The problem with the iOS is it's a closed source system,
Uh.
and there's kind of like a wall between the different apps, and
Sure.
one app cannot control other apps, which is what we do.
Okay.
But we can do it on Apple. It's more a matter of policy than technology. We need to
Yeah.
get the permissions from Apple to go into their operating system and change things there and take control over the front-facing camera. We approached them in the past a few times. We are in touch with their chief accessibility officer. You know, if the FBI didn't get permissions from them, it's going to be hard for us.
Well, they might like you more than the FBI.
I always say that, like, I hope that after we'll have enough users in the US that are enjoying our technology, maybe they will reconsider when they see the effect of this technology.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we're focusing on Android and Windows, which is easier for us to do and improve all the time. We also had an amazing project with Google in Israel, and Google.org, the philanthropic wing of Google, put $1 million on this technology to give this technology for free for people in Israel. So we got hundreds of users. That was back in 2015, 2016. And we launched our product in the US just last November. So it's new technology in the US. Most people doesn't know it. They still go and spend thousands of dollars on different cameras and eye-gaze technology, even though they can use other technologies. And we already have a few hundred users in the US, including some of the major rehabilitation hospitals on the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast, so I'm here for the AOTA conference. So, but we're always available via, Skype, or we do webinars. That's something that we do, kind of like remote training. We just set up the time and place, and we send you an invitation to Zoom software, and we just do kind of like the training that I did right now, but online. So this is also available.
So you said you buy a license on this tablet, and then you get an upgraded tablet. You can take the license from that tablet and transfer it to the new tablet. So you'll still continue to get upgrades as long as you're transferring the license to your tablet.
Yeah. As long as if you have an unlimited license or you're paying monthly, then on this specific license, it's going to be upgraded. But if we're going to come up with a different version that will work on other devices, like the 2.0 version, that might need another license, but the license that you have will still work.
So like if you get a tablet that has a new operating system and the one that they have was developed for is the time to buy a new license.
Yeah, it's still going to work, but if there is like a new feature that we added that can only work with the new operating system, you might need to get the newer license, but your old license will still work. But
so say you had to, because obviously the license is not that cheap, but if you buy it's not a bad price. But so you have to upgrade your license. Do you have to buy a whole new license, or do you trade that license in? Like with Boardmaker, when I traded my Boardmaker, they gave me credit for the Boardmaker.
Yeah, we're still not there. We're talking about something that probably will be relevant in 3 years, and we're probably going to do kind of like a trade-in option. We still haven't thought about pricing and stuff like that because it's at least 3 years away. And at the beginning, we only have 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year license. And if you see pricing wise, the unlimited license is about 3 years. If you think 3 years, $20 a month, and 36 months. But for a lot of organizations, it's something for life. So we said you're going to pay the same price as you pay for the 3 years, and you're going to get an unlimited license, and it's going to work. If in 3 or 4 years there's going to be a new version that it's hard for me to predict exactly what will be, then there might probably going to be a new version, but we're probably going to do some kind of like trading option then.
Is the app at all dependent on a Wi-Fi connection, or can you be disconnected?
You can be disconnected. Okay. The voice command, you do need to be connected to the Wi-Fi though, but the actual control of the cursor, you don't need any Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Very cool. I have to say, of all the things we saw at ATIA, this was probably the one I was most impressed with. This was the one we brought back to Kent.
Yeah.
This was the one.
Yeah, I'm excited. We now have some people in Utah that are. You're the first people in Utah, and I had a really good meeting yesterday at the University of Utah. So we're really getting more and more presence here. And today I'm going to go to Provo, the school district. I'm going to meet there with Vanessa. Is she here? I'm going to meet her there.
No,
she's down there.
She's there. Yeah. So I'm going to meet with Vanessa, and the Davis County School also got one. So we're really excited about the great response here in Utah.
So if we order enough of these, like with our T-Money next year, would you come back out and help us get them all set up?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely will come back again, especially now that we have more and more people using it here, and we're also expanding our team in the US. So started just with me. Now we have 2 more people, and our headquarters are still in Israel, but we now have more and more people here that are doing customer success and training. So if we're talking about next year, we're going to have more people. So we are slowly expanding. And I mean, I don't remember who I told it. I think I told Lean that if you get more than 3 devices, then we give you more discounts, and it's going to be cheaper than the first devices you bought. And if you guys want to try, I can let you try the training software, and you can kind of get a feeling of the technology. A couple of words about the mounts that I see that you have here. They're pretty intuitive to use. This is the mount.
And those are made by Bamboo.
Those are made by Readapt. The name of the model is Bamboo.
Okay.
Readapt is a really well-known company, and we are basically buying and selling those mounts through them. This is the most recommended mount. For us, you can get other mounts cheaper or more expensive. We sell those mounts for $250.
That right here is $250.
Yeah, and it comes, the set looks like this. This little piece here connects to a wheelchair. The piece here is for a table or flat surface or also a bed. And it comes with those 2 bars that you see here and those links. And those links, you just need to open it. Then you get it out. You can connect 2 links together.
Oh, make it bigger.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That is, okay, that's like,
yeah. So you can connect it to here. And you just need to close the link. Then you can play with different angles.
That's $100 cheaper than Magic Arm.
Mm.
Yeah, I think the price is cheaper than most I've seen. I've looked for other mounts around the US that I did a little market research, and most of the things I found are either significantly more expensive or not as durable. And I've been using this mount for about a year, and still using it, and it's a great mount. And it's an important part of our technology that the device needs to be stable. If it's shaking, then it's going to be hard for the camera to do its thing. So it needs to be a sturdy mount, and it needs to be stable. So that's about the mount.
so then if you're saying it's got to be sturdy, if somebody has, let's say Parkinson's tremors, is it going to be hard for them to use that if they've got the tremors going?
Yeah.
Or will it still be able to?
So I told you that you have the moderate option. In the moderate option, you have a little area that you can define that it's going to ignore tremors. So even if you have a little bit tremor, the camera is going to count it as you're being stable.
That's
One of the obstacles I feel that is if you have a lot of uncontrolled movement and you're on the absolute mode, that the cursor is going to move according to your head. So if you moved your head and it was uncontrolled, then the cursor is going to move that way. One of the obstacles that I saw, and especially for people with CP, is that it's hard for them to keep the cursor steady for like a second to open the action menu. So for that, you can reduce the timer, so it's going to be less than a second. It's going to be a little bit harder to use because every time you leave the cursor for half a second, it's going to open. But again, those are kind of like tweaks that you need to do and find the right way. If you see someone that's having a lot of hard time with their head, you can consider the Sesame Connect. You can talk with me about it, and I can kind of like give you my point of view.
What phone is the Sesame Connect built into it this point?
So it's any Android phone, and it can be Google Pixel, it can be Samsung, it can be LG, Moto, all of those phones we tried Huawei, Samsung, Google Pixel. It doesn't need to be the best phone in the market. The phone in the gas station or camera, it will work fine on it. We recommend the S2 or S3, which is what you guys have, because those are great and they're affordable. They're around $400, $500. When it comes to phones, you have huge selection. Great. You can also get LG, you can get Sony or Huawei, and those are pretty affordable. You can get a great phone for $300-$400.
Can you show us how to do that reduce option for the pointer EG select only is what Eric's asking? Do you understand the EG select only?
I'm not sure what is EG.
Can you tell us more, Eric? Example.
Oh,
Select only.
yeah.
Can you show us the reduce option for the pointer?
Yeah, so we have an option. It's kind of like a secret option. In the next version, it's going to be right on the device. Currently, it's kind of like a secret option. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. We just don't want people changing the software and they're like, they can't even understand what they did. So we want to be cautious with it.
So much smaller than
Yeah, and you see that also it opens all the way out. So even if you have a big tablet, it's still going to be good enough. So we'll go to our settings.
What's the youngest user you've ever seen use this?
So I've seen kids from around age 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're evaluating a student tomorrow. Pre-K.
Hmm.
With no lens.
Hmm.
So, wow. Maybe you could try it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm working in a school in New York called Henry Discovery Center, and I've worked with kids there from a really young age, and they're getting it faster than adults.
Yeah. Awesome.
Like,
They seem-
have like, download like Angry Birds or something fun like that, and let them try to
Yeah.
play it.
I was thinking doing like a cause and effect kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's nice to when you start with someone, ask them like, what is the one thing you want to do on your device, and let
Yeah.
them start there.
Okay. Maybe I'll ask you more questions about that, how to get ready for that.
I'm gonna restart my device because it's, but I'm gonna start with, so we have an option. I think what Eric is asking about, that we have an option, and there is an option there that you need to press a few times on something in our setting option, and you change the software to a place where you're only going to have tap. So that's going to be the software now. So when you dwell somewhere, instead of opening an action menu, it's just going to tap. So I showed you that built into the software. Built into the software, we have the option to do always tap, but that's a different thing. If you go through the setting and change the setting of the app, you can have an tap only kind of software or swipe only kind of software. So if you're working with someone with physical and cognitive disabilities and you want them to use an AAC app and you don't want them to confuse them with tap and swipe and zoom in and advanced option, then you're going to change the software, and I can tell you exactly how to do it. And you just need to remember after you're working with someone to undo it. You can change the software, and then you're only going to have the tap option. So then you can do an AAC app or some other game or something like that, and it's an easier way to start. And I would recommend it for people with cognitive disabilities that you feel that the full program might be too complicated to start with. So this is a great way to start. Just let me turn on my device.
I had one comment and one debate.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to think about your $699 for the unlimited license thing, here in the state of Utah, we have these grants called the UATF grants that we approve all the time, or we get approval for all the time for people that need assistive technology, but they're only for $400. And it was just, something to think about that maybe you could take back to your company or something like that. But if it was $400, we could probably get approval for this over and over and over and over.
Yeah,
And
so
saw
you can
a
do
lot of apps.
$400 license for 2 years, which is basically the price we paid for it. The price for 2 years is $420. So we can do it $400, and then you're getting the license for 2 years, and then you can renew it after 2 years. Yeah, we actually have.
Did you just negotiate that?
No, I'm just telling you how our system works. Like with the UATF, it's like.
Well, and the other thing, maybe when they're more established here, they could have a grant system for people who
Yeah.
are on a fixed income and have to depend on a grant.
Yeah.
Could you restart that and so Eric can see how you do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out see what exactly happened here. It's I think a little bit crazy. It's not many, right? We have 12 states around the U.S. that we have a subsidy plan through different wireless communication programs. So we have that in Maryland, we have it in Texas, we have it in Minnesota, in Wisconsin, in Oregon, Kentucky, and Kansas. And through those programs, residents of the state, if they meet the financial criteria, they're getting the whole bundle subsidized. They're getting the mount, they're getting tablet or a smartphone, and they're getting the license. So we still haven't started talking with the Youth Assistive Technology Program because not all states have a wireless program. I'm not sure what's the case with Utah, but if we're going to find a way to do it, then people can get the whole subsidized unlimited license, mount, and a tablet or smartphone.
Nice.
Maybe if you could explain it to Eric again.
Yeah, so I'll show you on my phone. I can also just send him an email with what I'm saying, but
Okay. And he's saying the video is not very good on their end, so if you could maybe explain it
yeah, so
as well as you can.
but I prefer to explain it to him personally,
Uh-huh.
and because this is really like something unique about our technology. And you need to press in a certain place 10 times with your fingers. It opens like an extra menu, and then through this extra menu, you can change the software. So I can just send him an email and tell him like press here for 10 times, then do that, then do that. It will be easier
Okay.
than doing it.
Perfect. Yeah. Sounds good.
Any other questions?
Can we try it?
Just remember to try it on my phone and feel.
You want to try it, Brian?
Yeah,
After whoever?
curious whether guys move. Curious whether I would read my Facebook. Where I'm at is what it have to be up higher. It's interesting.
Ryan, you go first.
If I'm doing it with Brian, I'll probably need to connect with the wheelchair. So
Okay.
I'll do it
Okay.
after, so you guys can start.
Does anybody else want to try? Go ahead.
Just to show you that it works exactly the same on the smartphone. And the camera is here in the center. You can get a little bit closer. Taking you through the training, complete training. The first thing is just to see that your head is positioned in the right place. It doesn't need to be exactly in the circle. It's just kind of like give you an idea. And now it's gonna do the calibration.
Since this is using a Chromebook, will Medicaid cover Chromebook?
No.
It's like an iPad.
But the Department of Education, I think, will cover if you're talking for a student. The first, just a second, the first screen was just to see that you can reach the edges of the screen. And if we see that you're having trouble, then it will offer you to do an automatic calibration. This is see that you can.
Okay. But still, if you're looking at a few $100s as opposed to $17,000.
Yeah, the Chromebooks are extremely cheap. You can get like an HP Chromebook for $200.
Is that the swipe?
Yeah, that was the tab, the green one.
Oh. Cool. I call my mom.
Take it to number 1. And it opens the action menu, and then you take in the blue
Oh,
dot
okay.
to the action you want to perform.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now to number 6, you just dwell over it. Take the blue dot, and this is how you tap. Now any 2 digits. See that now we added also the cancel option. So if the
Okay,
action menu
so if
open
I
and you
did
don't
it-
want to press it,
Okay.
you can go to the red.
I didn't mean that.
You see that for most people, it obviously depends how tech savvy is the person, but most people get it within 5
Yeah.
minutes, 10 minutes. People that never use a smart device in their life, might take a little bit longer. Older folks might take a little bit longer than kids, but worst case, it will be like 2 sessions. This is just a game of tic-tac-toe. No pressure, but everyone's watching. It's actually, we are usually letting our users win.
I'll play tic-tac-toe forever.
Nice.
What was your price again per individual? Because you have a different price for evaluation centers, right, or professionals?
So the price for individual is $20 a month.
You don't have a one-time for individuals?
It's the same for individuals and $6.99.
Oh.
For an organization that are buying it for the first device, we offer the tablet for free. This is like a
gotcha.
one-time introductory bundle for organizations.
So if an individual wanted, it'd be $6.99 one time. Okay.
Yeah, we
Perfect.
still haven't really sold the unlimited license for individuals because most of the people prefer to risk $20
Yeah.
and just start with it. They don't want it.
Your 30-day free trial, that's great though.
Yeah.
I have one guy down in Provo that's trying it. So.
Yeah. We think that 30 days might be too long for people because then they're just like getting used to having it for free and it's harder for them to pay. I think that
Get them hooked.
But
30 days.
Yeah.
But at the same
2
time, for
weeks.
some of our students, you've got to have at least 30 days to
Yeah.
see if they're going to use it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I don't see Medicaid ever. Well, it would take years.
it would take
a lot
years,
of
but
work.
even sometimes it's just to get the teachers on board and using it enough
Yeah.
to see if it's going
Yeah.
to work.
You see
before
the
you ask
bars, you
parents.
just make your head to either side, leave there
Oh,
for a second. Yeah, and this is how you unlock it.
You have to download it on your phone.
Yeah,
It's a 30-day free trial.
so I'm wondering if it'll work in position the phones in with I have to have the phone up high enough so that it's Pixel XL.
Oh yeah, it can work on it.
But what do you think from that location on his chair?
No, it's not going to be comfortable. I would use something to bring it like over here.
But yeah, that interferes with driving the chair. So I don't want to have the phone up in front of my face when I'm
Yeah, I mean, you can put it in the side a little bit, but like looking all the way down here and then moving, it might be a little bit difficult, but you can try.
I would, yeah, try it in that position first. So,
Maybe let's try to disconnect the TV because maybe my computer is getting crazy because of it.
You want to disconnect the Chromecast?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, just the Chromecast.
So this is fast dialing. How did I get to that?
It's through the blue icon.
Mhm.
You did always tap. So now every time,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
this is if you want to type something and you want to use the keyboard for that. So weird. Never happened to the device. Like,
might have to hard reset it, huh?
every time I'm pressing something and just putting a circle around it, and it's
Oh.
like,
Can you just hard reset it?
yeah, I'll
I
try.
was going to say, shut the. Wow,
An elephant.
I can see, that's pretty cool.
Even when it's pretty sensitive right now, like even when I'm laughing or talking, it's
Yeah.
moving a little bit.
Usually people that are,
She's
they don't have
moving
any
the line.
physical abilities, they like it
That's
less
pretty cool.
sensitive because we have more like gestures with our
Or
hand.
more
Yeah.
fine movements.
The free tablet, would that apply to school districts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you pay for the app and you get the
Yeah, this is what we did here for the first device you got.
Yeah.
And every like, we're going to do the same for University of Utah and school districts.
Yeah,
And
'cause I think we're gonna order one for
Yeah.
our team.
Yeah. Do you think Davis got one then?
Davis only got a license because they told me that they have a tablet there, so they got the unlimited license.
Oh,
And I told them that I'm going to be here, and if they want to do training or anything, and I didn't get any response from them, so I don't know if
okay.
what's exactly.
Look at that. That is so cool.
I'm kind of having a hard
This
time
is
getting
the
these
training.
tiny little dots.
Yeah, this is the training.
Training, okay.
Would it be possible for them to get a tablet if they didn't get one, or it was the same price as?
If it's the same price to get the app and the tablet, why didn't they get the tablet?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Did they not get that? That the tablet.
No, I think I got it. Maybe there's a miscommunication somewhere along the line. But
Because I think, trying to think. Yeah, it's a bit tricky just because everything was through Lean, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to know, like, is this the same? Because we're obviously very limited with the number of tablets we can give for free, so we say like one per organization.
oh,
Now it's like what exactly counts for organization? And
yeah, because we paid for multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like since you guys already bought 3, then like we can find like nice discount for you, like 20%, and from now on, that's going to be the price for the USCC technology center.
Okay. So if it came through us, we wouldn't get the tablet, but if the districts themselves paid for
Yeah.
it, then you'd get
If it
they'd
comes
get
from a
tablets.
different-
Okay,
Different
Oh,
organization.
I see.
cool.
I'm having a
What
hard
if the
time getting
team
this
orders
last
one?
We could reimburse your district, I guess.
Is
If that's how
So
they're
you
gonna
can
do
go
it.
from 15, put it on 15, and I'll stretch it to 19 or to 16.
Okay, so here's my
That's what I was
question,
doing.
because
Okay.
I was doing that wrong this one.
Yeah, it's actually really hard what you're doing now because it's when you do it on a smartphone, it's even harder. If it was on a tablet, then that would be easier.
That's cool.
okay, so back to
Good
the
job
pricing.
there.
and the- See, the thing is, there's the UAC project, but within the UAC project are individual district teams, and we all have money to spend. So if I spend some of my team money on a license, I want the Chromebook too. So it's us ordering, but they have to put the order in. But I
Yeah.
have the money to spend.
If we
Does
could
that
work
make
something
sense
out
to
with
you?
you,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
we get the money from from the education system here, and then we give them, anywhere from $2,000 to $15,000. They can buy equipment.
Yeah.
But the funding comes through Lynn, so it looks like it's coming to our center, but it ends
It's
up in
actually
their
our money.
districts.
I see. Yeah,
So we could try to work something out
yeah,
with you.
yeah. We can definitely work something
Yeah,
out.
because I'm sure we're not the only team looking at buying.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But-
I think
but
there's
if
quite a
I
few
buy an
teams.
app, I want the Chromebook too.
We offer the Samsung S2, which is the one you have here, which is a great tablet.
Hmm.
And so we can, if you guys are buying everything, so we can figure out like a package that will be for you guys. The full package with the Samsung S2, with the unlimited license, and with the mount is around $1,600.
Yeah.
That's like the full price.
Okay, now tell me what, because when we were at ATIA, then it was the app and the Chromebook, you said nonprofit got for like 700.
Yeah.
Okay,
You also got one of those, but this is one per organization.
okay, so I guess I'm going back to my team is a separate team, and so my team wants to order an app and a Chromebook, but
What exactly is your team? Like, what do you
okay, so I have
They're
to offer-
districts
I'm
for the
my
most
district team. The UAC team is made up of 20-something individual teams.
Mhm.
And so we each have individual money that we can spend. So I'm going to say, well, I want the Chromebook and the app.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell Lynn that's what I want with my team money. So it's going to look like it's coming from Lynn, but it's actually coming from me because
Yeah.
she can't hand me that money to give to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to figure something out there because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there are other teams who are looking.
Yeah,
at
so
doing
we
the
can
same thing.
find a good price that will reflect an unlimited license and a tablet with a nice discount, and this will be the price, the fixed price for all the UTSC technology teams, and it will be like a fixed price.
We'll work something out with them.
Okay. I just, we're so little, we get we just get a little bundle of money. And
Yeah.
so we have
Yeah.
to be very miserly.
Right.
Great.
Cool.
Let's.
It worked pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to try it?
I think I do.
No, let's have Brian
Go
try
ahead
it real
and have
quick.
Brian, yeah.
See how it works with his the straw there.
Yeah. Computer here is now rebooting.
Well, so
So I'm gonna use
technically
this.
we're all part of UAC, but also realistically, we're all separate teams. And so we all have our own money. And so but if we order from them, they won't give us the Chromebook. They'll only give us the app. So we're trying to figure out a way that each individual team can use their individual money to get the app and the Chromebook at a reasonable price.
Because they do it one per organization, but when it comes to us, it looks like there's multiple.
So you could maybe go to your special ed director and say, look, can you guys fund this? And then you will reimburse it because we get a better deal. But that's really hard because they also have to write out their budget at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And that was the problem that came in the year that they had us go to conferences and
Yeah.
the district had to pay for it and get reimbursed.
Mm-hmm.
It messed up.
Yeah.
People's-
Just trying to tell Mike about that yesterday.
Yeah, it was like, because we didn't spend all our money, so then they had to send money back and it was
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
pain.
the bottom line for us is we're going to find the right solution for every organization. You know, we want the device out there, and we obviously have limited budget, so we can't give free tablets to anyone.
Right,
but
right,
we want it out there, and we're going to find the right package for every organization.
What picture is that? Is that Yellowstone? It looks like it could be Pop Pops.
Ryan, is it okay if I look over your shoulder?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful to see where you're going.
You just need a horn.
I mean, you can definitely think about like having like a tablet mounted in your house somewhere, and then you can use it while not driving your wheelchair. And here I'm just going to start with putting it in the center, but then we can try and put it on one of the sides. It's nice to start with the training because you saw the training. The first one is to reach the edges of the screen. So if the algorithm thinks that you can't reach the edges of the screen, it's going to offer you to do the calibration. And then you can adjust the sensitivity. And after the two screens, you usually can tell if it's going to work for the individual or not.
So you'd recommend, like, if I were to go to that evaluation tomorrow, just start with the training?
Yeah. Yeah, start.
And
You
then
don't need to do the whole training.
Okay.
Start with like 3, 4, 5 screens just so they will get the concept. You saw that the training is also building it like not only tap, not only swipe. So it's a bit easier to start that way.
Sure.
I think you play with the angles a little bit, but I'm going to start with
It might help watching you just sit up. Huh? You need to go out tomorrow. Yeah. Good.
from a different angle since now it's a little bit below your face. So that I changed the angle and it did the trick. You just need to play with it a little bit. But I'm gonna do it again.
It shouldn't be confused that I'm in the
No, it's not the
camera.
Yes.
I wondered if that tube kind of
Yeah, it might be.
blocks recognizing a face.
Can I move it just to try?
Sure.
Maybe step back a bit.
Is there a way to like tilt the chair a little bit upwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. As the armrest moves with it.
Yeah, I don't think that thing is
It's tilted a little bit. I don't know if that's.
I would have liked to bring it from here. I'm just trying to find it.
You don't think with the adjustment you can get it higher?
I don't have enough.
Won't go high enough.
Let me trick that. Manual face detection. I just need to hover over the fish. Right.
You got a ribbon.
Awesome.
Now when you put the cursor on it, you see the green line charging. It opens the action menu. Do it again in a second. Blue dot again to the green icon. Just like you did before. Yeah, and this is how you click. Yeah, perfect. Number 6. Can you also take a picture from behind for me when I send people the headquarters?
Yeah. 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 Can you or Mike could or? I don't think I can.
Is that
Well,
okay to take a
I maybe
picture
could in
from
the
behind?
middle of recording.
What I did here, since for some reason it didn't found the face, probably because of the angle, I did it manually. So instead of doing an auto face take, I was kind of like doing the square where I ran to focus, and then it always works. The only problem is that someone needs to start it manually and kind of like put the square in. But this is something I do when I can't get to the right angle, and for some reason it's not recognizing the face, maybe because of the angle of the face, or I don't think it's because of the tube. It's but that's a way to pass that.
If it had been the iPad instead of the iPhone, would it have been easier for him to
The tablet, you mean? Not necessarily. It would have been easy to control the cursor because the icons are bigger and everything is bigger. I always like to start with the tablet. When I'm teaching someone for the first time, I always like to start with the tablet. I can also play with landscape or portrait. With the font, you can't do it. You need to do it to put it portrait. Go to the little smiley, red smiley.
Okay, we are gonna head out.
Okay, thanks for coming.
So
Right.
much.
Thank you guys. We'll be in touch.
Yes,
And feel free to contact me if you have any questions. And
I like it. Like I said, of all the things we saw at the vendor conference.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This was the one we were most impressed with.
thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Hey, is that Julia?
I'll email you. I'll put a reminder out.
You need to put the cursor at the lower part of the screen. When you see the little thing start charging, it means that you need to be steady for a second. Now it's the swipe option. So you pick the thing and you stretch the line up. If you're stretching the line up, you are scrolling down. It's kind of like you're doing this with your finger.
Can you get the training module in landscape mode? Eric's saying
Now
it's
the training is only portrait.
only portrait mode. Okay.
And this is kind of like an explanation about how your screen looks like. So at the lower part of the screen, you have the recent apps, the home and back. If you swipe from the top, you have volume, turn off, and reposition. And if you want to move, then just OK in the center. I think that it would have been even better if the device would not have been connected to your wheelchair, because then if you're moving, it's not shaking the device. So if I put it into a chair here, and then you'll have less shaking.
Yeah.
And where is the cursor? Oh, it's here in the corner. This is now harder for you to move it. I think the position has changed.
Yeah, but it sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to try to connect it to different. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have enough head control to do everything as designed. It's just a matter of practice and finding the right angle.
So you're switching it for more stability?
Yeah, more stability and also a better angle. Yeah. You might even need to use like 3 bars.
How many bars does it come with?
Comes with 2, but you can get another one.
You're gonna check this out today, right? Our device. You taking this one today?
So I'm texting Jody right now. We have an Android device that we can use, and we can just do the trial.
If you want,
But
or we have one here that you could check
it's
out.
already set up.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just do that.
It's up to you guys.
See, like if I had another bar, let's see if I have.
Hey, Joelle, do you want to take one with you today?
Yeah.
You guys have that enough, right?
Yeah.
Tell me to record. Oh, you're good.
I told Eric I was gonna sign off.
Awesome. Thank you for seeing you. Thank you. Happy spring. Snow every other day. It's Utah.
Every
everything's in there. The tablet, everything. You'll have to have a Gmail account to connect the tablet. Pretty straightforward.
I'm gonna send you these pictures.
Great. How many email?
Yeah, should I just use the one that's on your card?
Could you send that also to Kent?
Yeah.
Send those pictures, that'd be awesome. So how's the fun in Jordan District going?
It is fun. It is eventful right now. We've had the last 2 weeks. We've been out like packed Thursday schedules for evals. A lot of our girls.
Just the end of year stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
That's what's always
Yeah. I think it's because teachers are like, oh, I should get this figured out before they go to a new.
And it sure would be great if they showed up in September.
Set it up eventually.
Yeah.
I know maybe they forget it.
Yeah. It's super fun. It's never boring.
No, not at all. Like tomorrow we have 3. And then we had 10 last week. Wow, it's crazy. That's awesome. So now we're just like getting devices ready.
Oh, that's creative. Should be just K. Raymond. Nope, just K. Raymond. R-U-M-U-N-D.
Okay. He signed off. I'm gonna end it.